welcome to Murphy's Garden. In this video I just want to look at some of the jobs that I'm doing just to maintain the borders and to keep them looking nice as we sort of enter into July. So we did the video on the Chelsea chop and that was done in the other part of the garden, and those plants are starting to spring back again. So now I'm just going to look at just cutting back maintenance and just general tidying up. We have had a lot of rain in the last couple of days, so I'm using that as an opportunity just to mulch the borders. This is the compost that we made. We did a video on composting, and I'm really pleased. This is finally ready. It's crumbly, it's moist, and it's lovely. So I'm going to mulch the borders just to retain the moisture that's in them. We have got very sandy soil, so it just doesn't hold on to anything. So the more of this I can put on there, the better. So I'm just going to have a look at what I've got in the borders and sort of have a review what's working, perhaps what isn't working. I am pleased that it is looking better than it did last year at this time. It is starting to kind of look better, but there is a lot of gaps, and perhaps we'll just have a quick look at that. The other thing is that I'm trying to learn the Latin names. I'm not I haven't got any gardening training or anything, and I've kind of known a lot of the common names, but not necessarily all the Latin names. But Olivia is doing her RHS training, as is Alistair, my husband. So we're all trying to get better at learning the Latin. So we'll just have a look at each plant and talk about the Latin meaning, and sometimes that, once you understand where the word is derived from, sometimes that helps you remember the name. So here, front of border, I've got this is called liastras, liastras spicata. Spicata just means grows in spikes. So when it's out, it reminds me of like little toilet brushes. It's got these little spiky bits on the top. So spicata meaning spikes. So this is Stipa gigantica. And stipa comes from the word in Greek meaning toe or fibre, and the reason for it was because this was used to make rope. So I love it because it just looks so iridescent in the evening sunlight. It just catches the light. I've got it front of border, and it's very architectural. I've got 3 clumps of it, and it's very sort of iridescent, and you can see through it. So I think it works quite well front of border. Here we've got a salvia. This is salvia nemerosa. Nemerosa just means of the woodland, and salvia comes from the word sage. So sometimes you see, we've got lots of salvias in the garden, but sometimes you see like salvia officinalis, and officinalis, if anything's got officinalis, lots of plants have got officinalis after it, and officinalis means it was sold in a shop, so usually it's got some sort of medicinal or culinary merits to it. So often like an apothecary, an old-fashioned apothecary, they use them for medicinal purposes. So but yeah, and nemerosa, I don't know if I said, means of the woodland, so this one must have been found in sort of woodland areas. So this plant, as you can see, isn't in the border yet, but I have got a gap here. Alistair brought these home along with the euchre because he thought they look so nice together, which I agree, they look lovely. You've got this nice purple vein in the euchre which matches the purple stems of the persicaria. So I'm just debating where to put that. Persicaria, I looked up, is called persicaria because it's named after prunus persicaria, which is a type of peach, and it's meant to be that some varieties, the leaf looks quite similar to this particular peach. And euchre is just called euchre after some physician or something whose name was somebody euchre, so that's why that's called that. Yeah, there's a few that are just named after somebody. They're not so easy to remember. And the other thing he brought home are some Nicotiana, and this is named after Jean Nicot, who was a French diplomat, and he was the person that introduced tobacco to France. So that's why it's called after tobacco, as Nicotiana. So I'm going to put these in the border. The nice thing about these is they smell lovely in the evening, and I thought these borders get the last of the evening sunshine, so I think they will smell really nice. So and I have got a lot of gaps, as you can see, in the border, so I'm just going to infill. These are just annuals, so they won't last, but they'll last for this year only. And then back of border, I've got quite a lot of delphiniums, and delphiniums, delphine means dolphin in Greek, so they're meant to be, they look like the mammal jumping through the border at the back, I suppose. So yeah, they're looking really, really lovely. So that's about it really. We've got some other bits and bobs, but what I want to do is just finish tidying this border, finish mulching it. That's taken me all day, so I'm going to spend tomorrow doing the other border as well. So here we are at the compost bin. This is the compost, for those of you that saw the video we did on composting. This is bay 1 that we turned. It was only in, I think it was about March time. And as you can see, it's really turned into lovely, lovely crumbly compost. So we've got this compost quite quick really, because this was stuff that we only put on the first bay in sort of very late autumn, even early spring, some of it. So it's rotted down incredibly well and it's really good to use. I've got quite a lot of it, but again, never enough, because I want to do the whole garden. So once I've got this clear, we can start turning this. Incidentally, it does look quite unsightly, but we have had some carpet, a new carpet in our landing. So the best bit about getting new carpet was that I was able to use the old carpet on the compost heap. And that really sort of stops the weeds getting in a lot better. Under this one is the turf that we had cut out from the new area, and that was put in upside down. I looked at that the other day and nothing has happened to it. It's very compacted and it's just not really rotting down at all. So once this is clear, we need to borrow the mini digger again and get this turned. It needs to have some air and moisture into it. The bay 2, which we did turn, that's looking really good. That's not far away. That'll be like this sort of by the autumn, so I can use that for mulching the other borders in the autumn. So I'm just putting this compost. I'm trying to put it on quite thick, maybe like a couple of inches thick, and that will suppress the weeds, and it will also just be a good feed for the plants, particularly for the box, because the box has been cut. So what I want to do now is I'll spray it with top boxes just to prevent, hopefully, any box blight. So I've picked up all the clippings, and then if we spray it and give it a good mulch, then I think that should do it the world of good. So decided I'm going to clump it all together rather than do itty bitty spot planting, which I'm always doing and getting told off for, so I'm going to do it properly. So this is the euchera. It's called green spice. So I'll dig a wee hole, and then, gosh, it's very dry. I can water it, so that can go there. Just move these back a bit. So I think group them in threes. Plants always look better in 3s or 5s rather than 2s or 1s. So we'll just put that in there. Get all the moss and stuff off from the garden centre. Do you know what I should do? And that is put some compost in the planting hole. I might go and do that. I'll just water them because they're really dry. Then this is the Persicaria bistorta superba. It says a clump forming semi-evergreen perennial with handsome mid-green leaves and short dense spikes of soft pink flowers, maximum height 90 centimetres, full sun or partial shade, which is what this area is. So I'm going to put that there. I've got some poppies which are behind it, but they should be okay. Actually no, I might just dig that one out. One under here. I might just move that and put that back a bit. That can go in there. and in a year you could probably dig these up again and split them and get some more plants. You can split them if you get a nice big clump, which some of these are, like that one. You could actually cut that off and pot that on. You'd get another plant, but because I've got 3, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put them in and go for mass impact. These are some of the Compost bulbs, which I might just dig up and move. That's what they look like. They do spread, they definitely do. I've got quite a lot more than I did. And that can go in there. Right, I'm going to go and get some more water and just put some more compost around them, and then I'll press them in. So Olivia's just cutting the box balls, and I must say she's done a cracking job. This is the best they've ever looked, actually. So that's her job now forever. It's a lovely evening, really lovely evening. So all that's left to do now, the borders are all weeded and mulched really well, and all I want to do now is just to spray the box hedging, which has all been trimmed now with this stuff. This is this health mix top boxes, and why I try and do that every year is to spray it sort of at least once I cut it, and then maybe a couple of other times throughout the year, and that just hopefully will stop any box blight. So that's this area all done. Thank you very much for watching, and join us in the next video. Bye for now.